Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Thanks for joining me on the Whimsy Stamps channel. Today I'm going to be making a slimline Happy Holidays card, as you can see. Now unfortunately throughout this entire video I just can't get my camera to pick up the beautiful shimmer and shine of this embossing powder. But we'll go ahead and get started on the process. You can see that I'm using the Slimline Pines stamp set, as well as I was going to use the Slimline Twisty Frames, but I did not use that actually. I used the 3 Distress Oxides that you saw on the screen. They were antique linen. Now I'm using my Misti stamping tool as well as Versamark ink and that embossing bag. Like, I use a lot of that embossing bag, and I'm using more of it as I go, I've noticed these days. I just want to be sure that I don't have any stray powders sticking where I don't want them. So I want to create like a pine border or a frame, if you will. And so I am positioning my stamp. I'm stamping it down with the Versamark ink, and then I move it to another spot, and then I just repeat. Now you can see that I'm picking up my Misti, and I'm tipping it in the light, and I'm using the reflective nature of the sticky ink to reflect the light so I can see where I have and have not stamped, and if the stamp is thorough enough. Now it's a very light reflection that you can see, so you can't see all the details, and sadly I did not get a couple spots inked down all the way, but I think in the end, maybe because the camera doesn't pick up all the shine very well, you really don't see it. But there on those 2 pine cones on the right, you can see that they aren't stamped fully. But I am using rose gold embossing powder from Wow, and it's absolutely stunning, and I hate that you guys can't get that on this video. I do apologize so much. No matter how I turned it, no matter what my lighting was and my lighting source, it just didn't want to show for you guys, except for 1 or 2 little spots. And so here, coming up after this is embossed, and I lay it down. You can kind of see it a little bit better, and for just one instance right there, oh, right there. But I have my embossing tool. I am heating and embossing everything. Now when you're embossing, you want to make sure that everything is smooth and shiny. If it's still dark and gritty, go back and hit it again with that heat tool, because that means that it's just still powder. It's not actually embossed and melted. So I did that all the way around. I did it with my Happy Holidays sentiment as well, and I used the grid on my Misti to make sure that the Happy Holidays was straight. And now here's where I come in with my down and dirty. I'm sure you guys are probably sick of me saying that phrase, but that's kind of how I do things. Just down and dirty ink blending. And I have the antique linen there on the far right and the ice spruce in the middle, and then I come in with the pine needles, and I am shocked at how green it is. Now I did have a swatch, honestly, oddly, and it did not look that bright green. That's why I kind of put it on the surface, the desktop surface there, and I went with it anyway. But as you can see, I just used the ice spruce to go over all of it, and that kind of dulled that brightness down a little bit. And this is the magic of Emboss Resist, right? Because you do your ink blending right over the embossing, and then you take a towel of some sort and you wipe it off. But that just looked so dull. It looked like the embossing powder, or yeah, the embossing powder had actually melted into the paper, and that is not the case. It's beautiful. It's so reflective. It's so shiny. I apologize. But I did some water spots, and I lifted those to get some texture and some dimension. I kind of wanted a bokeh effect, and like it was snowing. And then I came in with my white acrylic paint and did the same thing. And then I love how I took my paintbrush and just real gently went along the edges to give kind of that frosty, icy, snowy look along the edges. I felt like it was just very subtle and like a nice separation between the card panel and that Nina card base. I love that craft. And I decided I wanted a little more splatter, so I came in with my Yuli mica watercolors, and I used a dark green to create a little deeper splatter. And then I have my Starry Colors palette, and I used some of the kind of goldy white, maybe a platinum gold, as well as a yellow gold to add just a couple more layers of splatter. And then for the final touch, I used some ice iced sparkle gems from This Calls for Confetti, just to add that last bit of sparkle as you tip it in the light. And I wish you guys could see it in real life. It just is much prettier than the camera was able to pick up. But this is my card for today. Kind of quick, kind of down and dirty. Clean and simple for me. You guys know I like grunge and layers and stuff, but just wanted to bring you something a little bit different today. I hope you enjoyed. Drop me a comment downstairs, and of course we'd love to see you on all the Whimsy social media outlets on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. And in the meantime, like I said, drop me a comment, like, subscribe, and until next time, guys, this has been Nancy, the Handy Scandy for Whimsy Stamps, and I'll see you later. Mwah! I'm out.